history of the game to win a World Series championship in both leagues. Another chapter in baseball history could be made tonight as the Russa looks to move into sole possession of third place. His quest continues next on FSN. We are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Cloudy skies. Nice crowd expected tonight. Game 4 of this 4-game set as the Cardinals trying to make it 3 of 4 against the Pirates. Welcome to the broadcast booth with my partner Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Cardinals searching for victory number 81 tonight, and it could be a historic night when you talk about Tony La Russa.
Well, it's a very, very special time, but we knew it was going to happen, and you know it's only a matter of time he gets one more victory. He is the leading manager in active wins, but history is going to be made when he passes Sparky Anderson and goes into sole possession of third place.
That's your 4-key matchup, and of course Tony La Russa and Sparky Anderson have been great friends for many years and decades. And if you look at the all-time wins list, Al, he has got a legitimate shot to get to number 2.
Well, he could pass John McGraw, never get to Connie Mack, but you know those 1 and 2 both owned the ball club, so they had kind of an advantage. They kind of had to fire themselves if they wanted to lose their job. But it's quite an accomplishment. Roland Heeman, the man that hired Tony for the first time from the White Sox, is here in attendance. He wanted to be a part of this very special night, so let's hope it happens today.
Tony La Russa going for history tonight here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Cardinals, Matt Morris made history over the weekend with career win number 100 for him. He'll go tonight. Morris and the Cardinals taking on Dave Williams and the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're trying to take 3 of 4. Our first pitch and lineups coming up next. 28th season for Tony La Russa in the major leagues with the White Sox, Oakland, and of course St. Louis, now in his 10th year. And a chance at history tonight to move ahead of Sparky Anderson in third place, sole possession, the all-time wins list in the game of baseball. 77 degrees, and our first pitch was a ball outside to David Eckstein. That one floats in there for a strike from Dave Williams. Eckstein hitting .273 on the year, 5 homers, 44 RBIs, and this one is popped up right side. Darrell Ward, does he have a play? Leans in. Yes, he does. Eckstein retired. That's how we start this thing off. And the Cardinals lineup is brought to you by Dodge. Look who's batting fourth tonight. Eckstein, Edmonds, Pujols, and then batting fourth, Yadier Molina. So Taguchi, John Rodriguez, Scott Siebel, Hector Luna, Matt Morris on the mound. That's your Dodge lineup for St. Louis. Edmonds hitting in the second spot in this lineup, a position that has not served him all that well, and this will be the first time this year that Molina has batted cleanup. And that's out of play for strike 1 on the Cardinals' number 2 man in this lineup, Jim Edmonds. Advanced auto parts starter for the Pirates is Dave Williams.
He's 1 and 2 this year in 3 starts against the Cardinals, and 2 and 3 lifetime, but a little different. He's becoming more of a pitcher, sacrificing velocity for movement and location. And it's interesting when you talk about the Cardinals' 4th place hitter, not a lot of options when you get by the first 3 spots.
No Rowland, no Sanders. Ritz-Alanik, who was hit 4th this year, is now with us. We hope to have him back tomorrow.
And so no veterans really, all the young kids.
You look at the bottom half of this lineup. Molina, Taguchi, Rodriguez, Siebel, Luna, and Morris, and yet this is a team that's 80 and 47, and they own the best record in baseball.
And what a job Tony has done in finding ways to manufacture runs to keep this team very positive in the absence of their star players.
Time is called. I know a lot of people, Al, want to look at Bobby Cox for manager of the year, and rightfully so, but don't look past the job that Tony La Russa has done this year. Edmonds high in the air, well hit. Makobiak back. He's on the track, looking up, and it's gone. A high towering shot by Edmonds, and the Cardinals have the early lead. His 22nd home run, RBI number 71, and Jim Edmonds has given the Cardinals a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's the one thing Tony talked about, putting Edmonds in the 2nd spot. Is, you know, you got these left-handers, been tough on him, but he said if he gets a pitch he can drive, no one better to give you that early lead. And here he hits his 22nd home run, 71 RBIs, 2nd on the club, and we have the 1-0 lead. But
you got to wonder about how many pitches Albert Pujols will see tonight, and wondering about the protection behind him. I mean, if you're looking at this lineup, why pitch to Pujols?
Well, and that's the thing that Albert has to realize, that if they're going to walk him or pitch around him, accept it. He's become frustrated at times, but he's going to look soft.
Albert the other way, well hit, looking up, and it is gone. Home run for Pujols, his second in as many games against the Pirates on a 1-1 pitch, and his second home run in this series, again to the opposite field, just like last night.
Perfect example of what they're trying to do in looking soft. That was a breaking ball, and because he was looking for it, he wasn't out in front. He actually just did a vicious line drive to the opposite field. There's that slow curve ball, but he's sitting on it. He's looking for that, and when he gets one, he's going to do that. He was out in front a lot because he was frustrated as they were pitching around him, but this time he gets a little bit even.
That was slicing towards the foul pole, so it just snuck inside that pole, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
35 home runs, 98 RBIs for Albert.
Cardinals have gone back-to-back, and this is Molina. Little blooper out to right, and that'll be caught by Rob Makoviak for out number 2. And it brings in Sho Taguchi. Around the Horn is brought to you by Auto Tire. Look at Chris Duffy, a flashy center fielder. Bay is in left, Makoviak in right, Wigginton, Wilson, Sanchez, and Ward on the infield. Dumit is behind the plate, and Dave Williams on the mound. That's your Auto Tire defense for Pittsburgh. And so takes a strike.
And the annual father-kids game.
Gets you every time.
He gets you every time. I was watching Dave Williams, today's starter. He's out there with the cutest little girl. You know, she probably was less than 2 years, but here's your starting pitcher out with his wife and family, trying to make sure they have a good time and not doing what he normally does before a start.
That last pitch, I don't know if you picked up on it, but it looked like he just guides in the off speed. I mean, you can pick it up with his motion.
Well, see, that's what he's doing. He started sacrificing velocity to try and get movement and location. But it's just almost as you said, he just turns it over a little bit, but he guides it when he tries to keep it away. Predominantly it'd be away. Go enough inside to keep you honest.
And a changeup there. Taguchi strikes out. The Cardinals go back-to-back. Edmonds and Pujols with solo shots. St. Louis on top. Pirates trail by the score of 2-0. Their lineup brought to you by Dodge. Duffy, Sanchez, and Bay in the first. Then Darrell Ward, Rob Makoviak, Ryan Dumit, Ty Wigginton, Jack Wilson, Dave Williams. The Dodge lineup for Pittsburgh. Matt Morris on the mound for St. Louis, and his numbers, Al, are brought to you by Rico.
You see the 13 wins, became the 39th active pitcher to reach a 100-win marker, and the 12th to collect 100 wins as a Cardinal. He was the first since Bob Force did it back in 1982. A great winning percentage, and with one more win, he'll go into a tie for 10th place all-time Cardinal records.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
He is 157 in 229 games as Duffy is a leadoff man, hitting .339. Think about that. 157 for Matt Morris, and it's been up and down injury-wise in his career. A couple of surgeries along the way, but here he is, still plugging along.
A winning percentage of .637, third all-time among Cardinal pitchers with more than 100 decisions. Trails only Mort Cooper and Dizzy Dean.
Pitch is pounded fair past Albert Pujols, who is playing in, and it takes an odd hop out there, and Duffy is going to wind up at third easily. Tough spot for Rodriguez. He had to see if that was going to go into the corner. It's a similar thing that you see with Busch Stadium in that Southwest Airlines side. It kind of jets out, so it caught that corner and came out in front of Rodriguez instead of in the corner. The Auto Tire defense. Taguchi, Edmonds, Rodriguez, Seabold, Eckstein, Luna, Pujols, and Molina behind the plate. And that's a look at the Around the Horn, brought to you by Auto Tire.
Tough corner, and you see it just got right at the point. We saw Seabold lose a ball down there. Yesterday, Eckstein got a triple because a single and a two-base error by the right fielder on balls that stayed right along the trough there and went into the right field corner.
So RBI opportunity now for Freddie Sanchez.
And stop them right here. Sanchez hitting only .214 in August.
And .267 overall. He lines this one to Luna. In the outfield grass, he twirls, makes the play, and Duffy scores, and Sanchez has his 24th RBI, and it cuts the lead to 2-1.
Just pulled the ball, and Duffy really not, with a late break, really didn't initially, as that ball got by Matt Morris and the infield playing back, didn't advance until he saw it. Luna go to his left and into the outfield.
There's Jason Bay, another solid year for Bay, who's playing left field tonight. He can also play center. 305, 24 homers, 72 RBIs. He also has 14 steals on the year.
14 for 14. Yet the Cardinals have pitched him tough.
Cardinals are 33 games over 500, matching their high water mark for the third time this season. Out to center. Edmonds in front of the track. 2 down. And it brings in Darrell Ward. Ward 2 starts in the series, including tonight. 4 games set against the Pirates. Will be off to Washington later tonight.
Darrell hot right now. His last 4 starts, 7 for 17, 412 average. Hitting .381 in his last 10 home games.
Schedule makers didn't do the Cardinals any favors by making this a day game to where the Cardinals could get in at a reasonable hour tonight. Rest up for the weekend series against the Nationals.
Would have been real nice. The Nationals hosted Cincinnati this afternoon, and they lost.
5-3 was that final, and Florida beat Milwaukee 3-1. They tried to get that one in before the storms hit down south. One ball, 1 strike on Ward.
We'll be doing okay about the time we fly into South Florida. That Katrina will be going up to making her second turn and going up into the Panhandle and north. So we should be okay.
2-1 pitch. 3-1 on the pitch inside to Darrell Ward from Matt Morris. See the defense very deep in the outfield for Ward. That includes Edmonds. He's playing deeper than he normally does. Full count. Inning started with a triple by Duffy. Ground out and an RBI by Sanchez. Fly out by Bay, and now 3-2 the count on Darrell Ward. Let's see what Molina puts down.
Didn't want the fastball away. Didn't want the curveball. Wants the cutter.
Hammered out to right field. One hops off the wall, and Rodriguez will get it back in quickly enough to where it's only a single for Darrell Ward. Ball was smoked, and that's 2 hits in the inning for the Pirates.
And ball was hit extremely hard, and when you throw a cutter left-hander, you want it a little bit higher, up and in, above their hands. But that ball you see is in the middle of the plate and down, and so that ball was just lucky that it turned out to be a single.
For a left-handed hitter, that's right in their wheelhouse. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
Now Makobiak getting .270, 9 homers, 52 RBIs. Big breaking ball, little upstairs. Home plate umpire tonight is Ed Rapuano. Ed Hickox at first, Phil Cuzzi at second. The crew chief Jerry Crawford, hands on his hips, is over at third.
I wonder how good Carpenter would have been if he didn't face Makobiak last night.
Makobiak was the hitting star for Pittsburgh, a single, a double, and a triple. He also had 2 RBIs and a run scored.
Carpenter only gave up 4 hits, and 3 of them were to this man. And then Rick White got into retiring him the only time last night, and that was to end the ball game. And that was Al Reyes that did that chore.
Good curveball bouncing towards the plate. Strike 2. Chris Carpenter now an 18-game winner and the only 18-game winner in the major leagues.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Curveball.
He got him. He froze Rob Makoviak. Pirates get on the board, and it's 2-1 St. Louis.
Watching FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser, bright, crisp, clean, pure, the king of beers. By Auto Tire. For straight talk and great service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. And by Steak and Shake, real steak, steak burgers, and real milk milkshakes. Served 24 hours a day at Steak and Shake. Beautiful PNC Park in Pittsburgh. I can't believe the rain has stayed away for 4 days. I just cannot believe it. I don't want to speak too early, though. I'm knocking on wood. I'm knocking on wood.
Go ahead.
Bring your head over here. Let me knock on that.
Ouch.
Rodriguez with a home run last night as the umpire looks over to the dugout. They need to get a new glove for Darrell Ward.
Like the webbing broke, so get a new piece of leather, and the training staff will stitch that one up. Can't be a trainer if you didn't learn how to do the leather work in the minor leagues.
Did you know that was one of my jobs? I'm serious. As a kid.
See, there's Brad Henderson. We'll give it to his assistant. Say, I don't have to do this anymore. Come on, get it.
Good curveball there from Williams. That was right on cue. You said, I'm not going to take care of this. Right when you said it, he flung it.
I'm a head man. I got assistants for this.
1-2 the count on Rodriguez. He homered last night to center field.
That was a blast. Right over the dead center field wall, up into the shrubbery.
Scott Seabold watching as Rodriguez out on strikes, swinging through that off-speed delivery. That home run ended a 4-game homerless streak for the Cardinals. It was a 5th-inning blast, and St. Louis had gone 40 innings without a home run, their longest drought of the season. And here tonight, they've got 2 solo blasts from Edmonds and Pujols.
And back-to-back multi-home run games, as Pujols is hit him in back-to-back games.
First pitch to Scott Seabold, a Pittsburgh native, is a strike. Playing third base tonight. We've seen him in right also in this series.
Williams working fast, and as I say, just throw enough pitches inside to keep you honest, but key to him is just kind of working that outer half.
Pirates under Jim Leyland won 3 consecutive National League East Division titles, 90, 91, and 92. And since then now, they're in the midst of 13 consecutive losing seasons here in Pittsburgh. Chuck Tanner, of course, part of a World Series championship team. And his son is on the coaching staff with the Pirates.
Bruce Tanner is their bullpen coach, but Chuck, just an outstanding baseball mind. There's Bruce. He pitched a little bit in the big leagues, but Chuck was just one heck of a manager. A lot different managerial styles than Tony.
In what way?
Well, I mean, you know, Tony, you got one set of rules for everybody. Chuck kind of had individual rules for superstars. A different era, basically, that you could, you know, when Chuck was managing, you, as a manager, many times you could just say, okay, I want to do this. Guys didn't like it, but they did it because the manager told you to do so. And you could get rid of them real lot quicker. You didn't have to talk to agents either.
I was having dinner with him the other night, and he was talking about pitch counts. He said, I never had one.
Right. You know, I mean, yeah, he had one until the game's over.
Yeah. Keep going out there.
Well, and you know, I've talked to Hal McRae, and I've talked to different people. I say, you know, why do they have pitch counts? Everybody ends up getting hurt anyway. They baby them and they get hurt. And he said, well, in the old days, they could they could maybe abuse players.
Hot shot past Ty Wigginton. Couldn't handle that off the bat of Hector Luna.
Should be an error.
And it is. Fifth error on Ty Wigginton this season.
Ty kind of sit there, watch his feet kind of spread out there, but look, he puts that leg back. Instead of squaring up to the ball, he kind of gets side saddle, so when the ball goes off you, you can't recover. If you square it up to the ball, and where was the other hand? You kind of trap it into the glove, but if you square up to it, then the ball hits you in the trunk of the body, falls right at your feet. You pick it up, and you still got a chance to throw them out. This is a new way of fielding, and I think a lot of times they field this way because if they don't catch the ball, it doesn't catch them, and it goes through for a base hit. No doubt about it. Took a bad hop, but still could be knocked down.
Morris out to right. A liner caught by Makoviak. Cardinals straying a man. Midway through the second, St. Louis on top. His hot pitch of the game, Rob Makoviak, a strikeout of Matt Morris here from Molina signs to Morris. Strikeout of Makoviak. Hardy's hot pitch.
Backdoor breaking ball. Hitter thinks it's outside, gives up on it, and then it breaks. He's not expecting it to the corner.
Now we want to make sure and recognize Cardinals Care volunteers who were top sellers at our June jerseys off our backstay. They're enjoying a dinner in the Cardinals Club tonight, watching the game on the televisions throughout the club. So thank you for all you do for Cardinals Care. And by the way, the next jerseys off our backstay will be Monday, September 5th, Labor Day. And for $1, fans have the chance to win one of the players' jerseys at the end of the game. And that's always a fun day and a fun event.
It's our first game back after this long road trip.
So thank you to you folks watching tonight back at St. Louis. Cardinals Care certainly appreciates it, and we do too. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Chicago Cubs are in town for a 1:15 start. Wonder if anybody will show up.
Here's a grounder to Albert. He'll take it himself. Also coming up September 8th, the Cardinals take on the Mets to begin their final series at Busch Stadium. All fans 21 and over with a paid admission receive a replica of Busch, courtesy of Busch Beer. Number to call is 421-2400 or log on to stocardinals.com. Dumit retired. Here's Ty Wigginton. I know you were watching the Best Damn Sports Show period last night. Mark Cuban was a guest, and he says he wants to buy the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's been open about it, trying to privately find out about it. Get some numbers, and he says he wants to buy this thing.
I was watching, but I couldn't hear it. So I knew you told me about that about a month or so again. Kevin McClatchy owns the club, but not deep pockets. He's got good taste in hats.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2.
May not like the region as well as Mr. McClatchy, but
a ball and 2 strikes on Ty Wigginton. A broken bat lifted out to right field. That's going to drop for a hit. Rodriguez over to get it. And look at the hustle by Molina, trailing the runner. Casey took that wide turn, and Rodriguez wanted to throw behind him. He had a chance to do so. So 1-out hit for Wigginton, and it brings in Jack Wilson.
Little things like that is what you know that Molina is just going to get better and better because he wants to invest the time. So he's there as Albert's not in a position, and a lot of times you may be able to sneak it out for your pitcher by just tussling, getting in position. Outfielder can throw behind the runner.
First pitch a little low and into Jack Wilson. 2004 National League All-Star, shortstop, Silver Slugger Award winner. Also was part of a Pirates record 129 double plays.
Turned more than that this year. They're second to the Cardinals.
an emergency appendectomy right before spring training, and they felt that he just didn't get his strength back until around the All-Star break. His weight was an issue. He was down there. But one thing you can count on is his glove. He is very, very good at short. A ball and a strike, runner at first. Cardinals would love a double play here. Chance for Rodriguez. He'll make the catch. There's 2 down. Cardinals tomorrow have Jeff Suppan going against Esteban Loaiza, who is 8-9 for the Nationals. And then Saturday, we're not sure who we're going to see, and we're not sure we're going to see on Sunday either. Tony Armas Jr. hurt his shoulder in his last start, so he has been scratched. Mulder will go on Saturday, and Tony La Russa was asked about Jason Marquis. As you see Jeff Suppan there, Marquis will make that start on Sunday. Some of the media questioning as to whether or not he would still be in the rotation this weekend.
Well, I think he's safe for that one, but I mean, it would be in his best interest to really show something. Anthony Reyes did give up 6 runs last night in AAA.
Back to Morris. Over to Pujols. The Pirates strand a man. We played 2, and St. Louis leads it 2-1. Our What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser. Tomorrow 5:30 from Washington. We'll take on the Nationals. Jeff Suppan makes his 26th start of the year and looks for his 13th win. He has been hot on the road. He carries a 5-game road winning streak into that battle at RFK and has won 5 of his last 7 decisions and 7 of his last 10. Jeff Suppan against Esteban Loaiza, who's 8-9. Tomorrow night will come your way at 5:30 with the pregame show.
I know you saw Frank Robinson's comments pertaining to Rafael Palmeiro's records.
And if folks at home didn't see it, Frank Robinson says he should not be allowed in the Hall of Fame.
And basically said his record should be expunged. As said, well, when are you going to say when you start taking steroids? You got to take them, get rid of all of them.
I happen to agree with him.
Palmeiro was asked about the comments and said he's entitled to his beliefs, and we'll just leave it at that.
I know you're going to be shocked, but Curt Schilling had a follow-up comment about that too.
Really? I can only imagine. He's making a start tonight. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City.
Wilson retires Eckstein for the first down as we start play here in the 3rd.
Somehow you kind of would think that Curt Schilling would have some type of response, wouldn't you?
Of course he would. He said, well, he sat there on Congress with myself and McGuire and Sosa, and he lied. That's all there is to it. He lied. And he agrees with Frank Robinson. Here's Edmonds, who is homered. Big breaking ball for strike 1.
In fairness to Ralphie, I don't think he's been proven as a liar yet. No, in the sense that he could have started taking him after that.
Oh, okay. Albert Pujols makes a new friend. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So say thank you.
Two and 2. Pujols studying this pitcher from the on-deck circle. He homered his first time up.
That was one of the best swings you'll ever see. I mean, really a slow breaking ball, and you would have thought he would have pulled it to left field, but to hit it where he did, I mean, it was slow, tantalizing, and he just kept the weight back and exploded it to last second.
And able to drive it the other way with power, just like he does if he pulls the baseball. Edmonds looks like he got hit with that pitch.
Yeah. On the hand, glancing blow, but I'm sure Jim still feels it.
Let's take a look at the pitch location on the home runs by Edmonds and Pujols.
Ball just up, and Jim likes the ball up in the strike zone. But look at this to Albert. Real slow breaking ball. And I mean, just perfect in sync. And here coming in on Jim.
They've gotten his wrist. He says he's all right as the Cardinals medical staff refer to Jimmy over there at first base. And here is Albert Pujols.
Flashy gloves.
Think about right-handed hitters in the game of baseball. Arguably, he's the best. Manny Ramirez would have a say in that too. Alex Rodriguez as well.
Derek Lee this year is making a statement.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out.
Miguel Cabrera, who we'll see down in Florida.
Sports Illustrated had an interesting article recently on the 25 and under crew and the new wave of talent that's coming into the game. Pujols and Cabrera were the highlights of that.
When they're 22 first-time All-Stars this year too. So a new crop of exciting young talent. There's still some pretty good old-timers.
2-1 pitch to Pujols in the dirt. 3-1. Molina is the cleanup man. He's on deck.
Albert came in hitting .370 against Pirates pitching in this ballpark. And that home run that he first time up was the 16th home run that he's hit in this park to lead all visiting players.
3-1 pitch. Pujols. Little tardy on that swing. Fouls it back out of play. With that home run, it's another run scored for Pujols too. Leads the National League with 104. He came in batting average at .333. 2 points back of Cabrera, and Derek Lee hitting .353. Andruw Jones leads in home runs with 40. Pujols now at 35, and 98 driven in by Mr. Pujols, and that is at first in the National League, 2 ahead of Andruw Jones.
Albert's quick enough that he can turn on a fastball even when he's looking for the breaking pitch. He should be looking off speed.
The check on Edmonds. Albert Pujols, every time that ball hits the dirt, whether it's to the plate or on that throw over to first, he asks for a new baseball. Does not want to give the pitcher any advantage. Scuff baseball, whatever the case may be. Full count on Albert. Spoils the pitch.
Another changeup that was up, and he just got a little piece of it. But this is what you know, kind of the solution for how teams have been pitching. As you got to, you know, constantly making adjustments, and the adjustment they're making now is he looks soft.
He's thrown 5 changeups in this at bat, just 1 fastball. Albert out to center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Edmonds to second. He'll stop right there as Pujols made the adjustment again on the changeup, and he's 2 for 2.
That's what, you know, I mean, he's so gifted as a hitter. He was getting frustrated because he was getting pitches. Remember, he was popping them up. But there you see another. But you don't want to really throw changeups that high. And just a changeup up in the zone. And he's out in front a little bit, but just look out at those great forearms and wrists as he kind of just throws the bat at it and then pops the wrist. Oh.
And Molina hits it in foul territory. Ward can't catch up. I mean, these are 2 at-bats that define Albert Pujols to me tonight, what we've seen, because the first one, like you said, Al, it's a pitch that he's waiting on the curveball, drives it with authority to the opposite field, enough to get over the wall for a home run. Then his second at-bat, changeup, 1 fastball, sees a changeup again. That last one that he picked the hit up on, he's fooled by and still can make the adjustment.
Because it was a bad location.
Yadier Molina into left center field. Bay is over, and he'll make the catch. Edmonds will tag up. No, he won't. He was a little tardy in getting back to the bag, and he made a mistake out there.
Yeah. You're so deep. The outfielder's deep. He's running into that corner, the deepest part of the field. You know, even though he spins and throws, he throws to second base. and gets the cutoff man. So Jim recognizes it, gets back, and you think he's going to tag up. Albert was going to tag up also. So it was alert base running from the trailing runner to not just put your head down and assume that Jim was going to go to third. That's many times how guys make mistakes, trying to be aggressive, and they run into an out because they don't watch the guy in front of them.
First and second here, so Taguchi. Well, it's good to see him in the lineup because last night he was used only for defensive purposes. And remember the night before that he was hit on the hand, and Tony La Russa was telling me initially they thought that was broken bones for sure.
Everybody was convinced. It was such a loud smack. I thought it hit in the helmet at first.
Two outs, 2 runners on, a 2-1 Cardinals lead. Defense is straight away for Taguchi. He's playing left field tonight.
Pull the ball down the left field line. They really have him swung around the opposite field, and Dave Williams, a guy that, yeah, he'll throw a lot of balls outside, but he'll throw that curveball like he just did right there, something where he could pull, get it over the head of the third baseman down into the left field line. See how they swing the right fielder over.
2 strikes on so.
Dave Williams went to spring training trying to become the 5th starter, and not only solidified that, but moving up the ladder as other guys are kind of falling backwards, he's climbing up.
Taguchi pulls it foul.
So that's what I was talking about. A lot of times, you know, you're going to, when you got a guy that throws a lot of off-speed pitches, that left side of the infield is going to get a lot of ground balls.
For Dave Williams, you get past Taguchi and you think that this lineup lightens up a little bit with Rodriguez, Seabold, Luna, and Morris.
If you get it over the head of the third baseman, get it out there, you can clear the bases.
Spoils that pitch. 2-2 the count. With 2 runners on, the Cardinals have back-to-back home runs in the first inning by Edmonds and Pujols. Jumped out to a 2-0 lead. The Pirates came back with a run of their own and an RBI by Freddie Sanchez. Pick-off play, and Edmonds back in there safely.
Base runner, you can watch that second baseman. You rely on your third base coach to help you out with the man behind you, the shortstop.
Just outside.
Will be going.
And so hits it to third. Ty Wigginton settles and throws over to Ward. Cardinals strand 2. They've left 3 on tonight, and they lead it 2-1. 2-1 Cardinals, and as you talked about, Al, earlier, special guest to hopefully see history here tonight.
Roland Heyman, who was the first man to hire Tony after his playing days with the White Sox. Tony had sent him a letter and said, you know, I think I'd like to try managing. He hired him for the Knoxville team. It was a Double-A team, and made sure that Mr. Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox, knew about him, and the rest is pretty much history.
0-2 the count.
First came to the big leagues, Tony did. I was playing for the Royals at the time, and he came up as the first base coach. He was managing in Iowa at that time. That's when he first met Walt Jock. But he was the first base coach, and then wasn't there for long. Then he took over, I think, for Kessinger, and went on to manage the White Sox and won a championship in '84 with the White Sox. And to this day, Jerry Reinsdorf said it was the biggest mistake he ever made, firing Tony La Russa.
And Tony and Jerry are very tight.
Yes, they are now, and
Third ball is hit towards second. Luna. Duffy retired. He scored the first run of the night for the Pirates after he tripled. This day in baseball history. August 25th, 1986 at Tiger Stadium. A's rookie Mark McGwire hits his first major league home run off of Walt Terrell. A little different looking Mark McGwire, huh?
Yeah, but he went on to hit 49. That's in his rookie season. And
Sanchez to third. Seabold a good play.
And because of the birth of his son, he missed out like the final weekend. So he had a chance to hit 50, bypass that for a great moment in his life. And there you see Scott Seabold, the Pittsburgh native, picking it.
Question here about the last time the Cardinals had two 20-game winners. Joaquin Andujar and John Tudor back in 1985.
You got a friend that just doesn't believe you, do you?
It's right here from Paducah. Here he is. Jeffrey Thompson writes in all the time. Now Morris, if he would win, he would go to 14-5. He might be able to squeeze out 6 wins.
Well, and you've got Mulder already at 15. Maybe a possibility if you get 3. I remember talking with Whitey Herzog in the '85 season, and I asked him the question here in Chicago, and Joaquin was really struggling. He got to like 19 and really struggling, and had several opportunities to try and get, I think, to his 21st or 20th. And I asked Whitey when we were just guys, "Is there any thought about taking him out of the rotation?" And he kind of said no, and later on at the batting practice he said, "I have thought about it, but my problem is Kepshire was not pitching well," and he said, "I can replace one, but I can't replace 2. So I just have to kind of leave them in there." But you kind of saw the beginning of the end with Joaquin late that season. And then the blow up in World Series kind of, put the final nail in the coffin.
Ball and 2 strikes. George Brett was through St. Louis last week. And he pointed out, he said, well, there's no doubt that Don Dinkinger blew that call as Morris doesn't get a call. It looked like a strike. But he said people forget the Cardinals self-destructed after that, which they did. It was a pop-up, a cross-up. Jack Clark missed the pop-up, foul territory. You had the cross-up behind home plate on a pitch that got away. Dinkinger's call. And ultimately, you did have Game 7.
Yeah, you have to take advantage,
Pirates go 1-2-3 here in their half of the third. 2-1 St. Louis. Rodriguez will lead it off for the Cardinals. 2-1 St. Louis. Rodriguez takes a strike on a curveball. And that's all that Rodriguez has seen. Finally gets a fastball, and it's up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And they're going to really try and throw him nothing. If it's going to be a strike, it's going to be a breaking ball. They try and waste a pitch occasionally with a fastball. The ball bounced up and got the catcher. But that's a book on Rodriguez right now. He'll turn on your fastball, but the old equalizer, Uncle Charlie, gets him. And the changeup.
Little incident as we went to break. Ed Rapuano, the home plate umpire, and Matt Morris jawing back and forth. Morris thought he had a called 3rd strike on Bay, didn't get it. Eventually, he did fly out to end the inning, but Rapuano was saying the pitch was low. Morris thought it was strike 3.
You gotta love the umpires. Can't beat them, so might as well work with them.
It's Tony's motto for the most part as Rodriguez strikes out. Tony La Russa had a reputation when he first came up of being a guy that would jump all over the umpires. Cardinal Baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. And by Rico. How well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? And he has changed.
You are absolutely right, because I saw those early days and I thought it hurt his ball club.
That's out to the left. Bay over near the line and makes the catch.
And I remember talking to Tony when he came to the National League in the Cardinals, and I said, you know, you've really changed. And he said, I learned. Can't beat them, so, you know, you got to work with them.
Career Day is coming up at Busch Stadium Wednesday, September 14th, prior to the Cards Pirates Day game. There will be a program featuring Cardinals executives and front office personnel. Number to call for tickets is 425-0600. You can always check it out online at stlcardinals.com.
Notice how they flip-flop Luna and Molina last night. I mean, you know, Luna gets a base hit, where last night, you know, you had Molina batting 7th and Luna batting 8th, and part of that is because particularly Chris Carpenter wasn't putting down good bunts, and you know, one time it was a double play on a bunt effort. So maybe you put a speedier guy, and Luna can steal a base for you also. If you put Luna a little more speed in that 8 spot.
Morris was smiling and laughing as he got into the box. Didn't look like Ed Rapuano was smiling, though. That's a ball inside.
Well, you know, now he's trying to use the butterball approach, but the umpire goes, no, you already made your statement to me. It's not going to work. But
as Morris flies to right, Makoviak backs up a step or two, puts it away. Cardinals have stranded 4, but they lead it 2-1. Tomorrow, NFL on Fox preseason special. Ben Roethlisberger leads the Steelers into the nation's capital to take on Clinton Portis and the Redskins. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Central, only on Fox. And we will be in Washington tomorrow night. Cardinals take on the Nationals. Esteban Loaiza, Jeff Suppan in that game. One pitch and a curveball. Ward to second base, and 1 out. Ben Roethlisberger, Rookie of the Year in the National Football League a season ago.
Pretty casual before a big game, right?
He's the city's biggest star, Al.
All over the news, everything he does, right?
Well, this is a football town. You do have Mario Lemieux, but hockey has been out for a year. People are excited about Sidney Crosby, too. First overall pick in the National Hockey League, and he's compared to Lemieux and Gretzky. He's the next great player coming out. And it looks like the Penguins will be saved because of the new CBA. Good pitch there by Morris. 1-2 the count.
And both these pitchers are feeling good about themselves, working quickly.
Another curveball, another chance for Hector Luna. Quickly to first. Kobiak hustling down the line, 2 down. Cardinals come in with a record of 80-47, best in Major League Baseball. They lead this division by 13 games. Where does the mud used to rubber every Major League Baseball come from? G. Affleck trivia question. This one is hit out to left, backing up so Taguchi in front of the track, and an easy inning for Matt Morris right in front of the Budweiser sign. 2-1 Cardinals.
Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
Here's the Affleck trivia question once again. Cardinals with a lead of 2-1.
Affleck!
Where does the mud used to rub every Major League Baseball come from? Burlington County, New Jersey. Did you know that?
There was an article I saw recently, and there you kind of see these tubs as they come in, but it seemed like when I was playing, you know, when the baseballs weren't as lively, it seemed like they came from Mississippi or someplace down south. Mississippi mud.
That's hit out of play by David Eckstein, the Cardinal leadoff man. We're in the 5th.
Had a little more of a greenish texture to it. That one looked like just brown and muddy.
Are they still using the humidifier with the baseballs in Colorado?
I don't think so.
That's gone by the wayside, or the humidor, I guess, that they have.
They've tried all kinds of things. You know, like that pitch got X time.
That's the second Cardinal that's been hit.
They're notorious, you know, in minor league parks where they used to put baseballs in the freezer. It's supposed to deaden them.
Right.
You know, different things. Oh, you did that there at one of your playtime. Where'd you used to work when you were a little kid?
I worked everywhere.
I know, but I mean, you know, the batting cages and the golf.
Tower T.
Tower T. Do that there? Didn't get anything if you hit home runs.
No, we didn't do anything there. See if they want to start Eckstein and get something going as Edmonds sits it out of play. David has 9 stolen bases in 15 attempts on the year. 75 pitches thrown by Williams.
Have the outfield swung around to the opposite field. Curveball.
Out in front was Edmonds. Scored. Short on the first. Nifty double play. Baseball fans, every Friday night on FSN Midwest, tune into the FSN Baseball Report for an in-depth look at the biggest stories throughout Major League Baseball. The FSN Baseball Report tomorrow at 5, and it's right here on FSN.
History is made. Took 370 at bats before Jim Edmonds grounded into his first double play. So 1 every 371 at bats he'll ground into. And here's where you say a nifty 6-3, 3-6-3. The left hand is just a perfect way to throw, and you give a good look to that shortstop, and they've turned some double plays. That's 155 for the Pirates. The Cardinals have turned 161. They're 1-2 in baseball.
Last year, Jim was the 5th hardest to double up. As Pujols takes one low and in, Edmonds had faced, coming into this game tonight, 82 double play situations and came away unscathed each time. They finally got him. Two-one pitch. Albert rips it left side. That's a base hit. His 3rd hit tonight. 2 singles and a home run. 2-out base hit for the Cardinal slugger brings up Molina.
Ball up again and hit hard. When doesn't Albert hit the ball hard? But level swing, hitting down on it, not popping balls up.
Now 6 hits in the series for Pujols.
Hitless in game 1, wasn't he?
Hitless in game 1, and game 2 he had walked and singled. Last night he had the home run late and singled and scored in that big first inning for the Cardinals, in which they knocked out Kip Wells. And tonight, home run, a single, and a single.
That's right. Game 2 of his last plate appearance, he got the swinging bunt single.
Yadier Molina, the cleanup man. Good piece of hitting. Opposite way, just foul. Well, how far has Molina come in his 2nd season in the major leagues? That first month, he was terrible at the plate. Almost like an automatic out. Now he's batting cleanup.
162 was the first month at batting average, and then he hit 299 in May and June combined.
The 0-2 pitch is hit into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Pujols around second. Albert on his way to third. He'll be stopped right there. They throw behind Pujols, and he is safe. Almost caught him. Wilson has got no fear.
Nope. Albert sees the ball right here. He'll look back when he gets about there, and picked up Oquendo, and surprisingly, one of the few times he didn't run through a stop sign. Tried to throw behind him, and he was aware of it. Got back safely, but close.
He is just possessed about getting runs scored and bases.
Well, it's one of those good ones that you appreciate, a guy that's obsessed in scoring.
Cardinals will see Taguchi be pitched around here, intentionally passed to get to Rodriguez, who has struck out twice. Cardinals are without the services of Mark Rizzolantic. And Tony La Russa was telling me prior to the game, Al, that he's in question for tomorrow night's game with his knee and also his back as well. He's got a sore back right now. And Tony was saying that he would like to have Rizzolantic go through some drills.
Sure. And
maybe some BP before they throw him back into game action. So the bases are loaded, and a chance here for John Rodriguez.
Win this ball game here, and then it makes it a little easier to make that decision. Pujols, Molina, and Taguchi on the base pass. See if John can make the adjustment. He knows what they've been getting him out with. It's all off speed.
First pitch, a breaking ball, strike one. 2 strikeouts for Rodriguez, both swinging. Williams with 4 on the night. A 1 pitch. Another curveball is hit foul. 0-2. If you're pitching to John Rodriguez, why would you ever throw him a fastball?
A lot of times because a lot of pitchers can't throw 3 consecutive breaking balls for strikes. Dave Williams looks like he can, but you're always waiting for the hanger.
Here's the 0-2.
No.
Well, Rodriguez stays away from that pitch. He had swung and missed on that pitch his first time up.
Almost like the curveball, the other ones, and then that's a little bit, it's a little different angle, a little harder, more like a slurve.
And he has injected some life into this lineup when he was called up from Memphis. John Rodriguez with 4 homers. Came into this game hitting .299 with 15 RBIs.
Lays off it again.
2-2. Look at the outfield. Very shallow for a guy that's got some pop.
I hit it right over that .399 sign into the shrubbery dead center field last night.
2-2 pitch. Rodriguez makes him pay with a single up the middle. Here comes a throw to the plate, and Molina is out as he was trucking on in from second base. RBI for Rodriguez, number 16, as he delivers as the run would come in to score. Makes it 3-1 Cardinals. Pujols another run tonight, his second. Then Molina gunned down by Chris Duffy. Cardinals a lead of 3-1, and here's the play and throw by Duffy to the plate to get Molina.
Well, remember you said they were playing shallow, and we know that Molina has very poor at best run speed. So they had to execute, and the youngster did it.
Back to a 2-run lead for St. Louis, and Matt Moore's back to work. He's had consecutive 1, 2, 3 innings. It's number 7, 8, and 9 in the order for Pittsburgh. Ty Wigginton just called up. Pops it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals with 2 runs in the first and another in their half of the 5th.
And that's retired 8 Pirates in a row.
He's looked good tonight.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's had success against these Pirates in the past. He just looks like he wants it. He wants that 101st victory. You know, you definitely want to be a part of your manager's milestone. Say, I pitched him to that, into 3rd place in the all-time win list all by himself.
2-2 pitch. Morris is coming off a win against San Francisco over the weekend, 4-2. He lasted 6 innings in that game, gave up 5 hits and just 2 runs. Prior to that, it was a loss to Chicago.
He's won 5 of his last 6 games against the Pirates and 9 of 12.
Not getting that call on the inside corner to this right-handed batter, Ty Wigginton. His 24th start of the season and 3rd against the Pirates this year. Curveball hit left side off the glove to Eckstein on to first. Safe. Albert base hit there for Ty Wigginton.
And Albert tried to cheat a little bit at the end, but very nice play by David Eckstein. Ball and breaking ball. You saw where Seabold deflected it. Eckstein bare hands it. Watch this deflection here. Then he well, it was in the glove, but he got the exchange so quickly, and Albert came off the bag all in an effort to try and sell that they beat the play. But Wigginton hustling, and it's a good thing he was if you're a Pirate fan.
First pitch to Jack Wilson, a strike. I didn't think Eckstein had any chance.
No.
He made that close. That's with his momentum too, going the other way.
Going into the outfield, so a good recovery and throw. Arm strength is much better.
Good curveball. Strike 2 on Wilson. And that curveball was sharp.
You can see this is the old Matt Morris 12-6, even though and still up there, but he's competing very well.
Ground ball pulled foul past Scott Siebel. Morris has struck out just 1 batter tonight. That was Makoviak to end the first. Has not walked anybody.
Walk. Matt, one of the stingiest in the league in the walk department.
That's when you know, Al, that he's feeling good and feeling healthy, because that was a problem last season. Walks and home runs allowed.
Just the ability to finish off his pitches, reach out, pull down the curveball, get out there and finish off, stay on top of his sinker. And then with last year, when he wasn't 100%, he learned a very valuable pitch for him, and that's the cutter.
1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. One is driven into left center field. Sotoguchi is there. Wigginton tagging up, and he's back to first. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals LLC and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals LLC. Got to tell you, Al, I was a little surprised that they decided to send Yadier Molina in that spot with the outfield as shallow as they were playing, and Scott Siebel coming up next.
Yeah, that's. And you pointed out how shallow they were, and we've heard good reports about Duffy. Not so much on his arm strength, but about his ability to go get balls.
Williams is squaring again, looks at a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. The last left-handed hitting pitcher to hit a home run for the Pirates is Dave Williams. Did it back in 2002. Strike 2. To RFK tomorrow at a ballpark that is spacious. Cardinals actually played there a few years ago, went through in an exhibition. Looked like a softball field, but it's changed.
And you go back to played some of those old timers games. Luke Appling at 80 years old hit a home run.
It's going to be a strikeout from Morris as Williams can't help himself.
And that was. Luke Appling hit that home run. He was about 80 years of age. think the fence was about 220. At the end of that summer, it was 800 feet.
There's Chris Duffy, the center fielder. Wonderful atmosphere tonight here in Pittsburgh. These fans are on the edge of their seats. Last World Series team was 1979 for the Pirates.
Our family.
They've had 4 World Series championships. You mentioned it last night, Al. You played at Forbes Field and Three Rivers. That's past Morrison into center. And Duffy reaches on the 5th hit for the Pirates. Second baseman Freddie Sanchez will dig in. Has an RBI tonight as he grounded out to second, and Hector Luna. He's also grounded out to third. 0 for 2 with an RBI. Two outs, 2 runners on. 2-run lead for the Cardinals. Tony La Russa is counting on Larry Walker for 2 of the 3 games this weekend against Washington.
Pretty much an every other day scenario for Larry. He's put a little jolt in the team, but when he isn't playing, you can kind of see this makeshift lineup, and who do we hit 4th?
And tonight it's Molina. Two and 1. Larry Walker. He's had a nice series in the 2 games that he's played.
Single first time up last night, drove in his 1300th run in his career.
It's quite a concoction. He's
sunflower seeds and water.
Yeah.
Now you got to mix it.
Siebel off his glove. Everybody saved. A base hit awarded for Sanchez. And now it's their most dangerous batter in this lineup, Jason Bay.
Scott couldn't make this one over the bag. Knocked it down. He couldn't make one to his left. So he hasn't been much help here to Matt Morris this inning. And Molina showing some of that leadership, goes out to calm down and talk Morris through it. There are 2 outs, but you got Jason Bay, their best hitter.
Twice he has flied to center tonight.
Cardinals have pretty much contained him, and this season he's 0 for 7 with a couple strikeouts.
Bases loaded. Bay is sitting on 24 homers.
It's odd because he hits 343. Runners in scoring position.
Bay was the batter that Morris got in the argument with the umpire over on a curveball that he thought was strike 3. Instead, it was taken just a bit low. Curveball, strike 2. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Bay hits it out to right center. Pretty well hit. Edmonds calling for it, and he's got it. Jimmy on the track. And Bay, for the third time, is flied out to center field. Bay and the Pirates strand the bases loaded. And we have played 5 here at PNC Park. Cardinals with a lead of 3-1.
FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
3-1 Cardinals, top of the 6th. Scott Seabold comes away unscathed after that misplay over third. Sanchez was given a base hit. Could have been an error, but it loaded it up for Bay, and Morris got out of the jam. And it remains 3-1 Cardinals. Seabold is 0 for 2. His average has dipped to 212. Hits this one out to left field. Bay is there for the first out.
Talking about Jason Bay, made the final out against Matt Morris with the bases loaded. Just go do a pitch by pitch. Starts him out with a fastball down there, gets a strike 1. And he comes back with another one. It's outside. And he throws a breaking ball, and it kind of was up a little bit. Now look at where Molina was set up. He wanted that further outside, and he put a good swing on it, but it into the glove of Jim Edmonds out in right center.
A pitch by pitch feature brought to you by the Mid-America Chevrolet dealers. Luna swing and a miss, strike 2. That average for Hector Luna, 292.
Getting a little more playing time of late. Williams already hit 2 guys pretty much on. Last one was a breaking ball like that on the foot of Eckstein. Got Jim Edmonds on the wrist. Pitch in. Yano really called that one very late when Williams into his windup.
Williams approaching 100 pitches. That's out to center. On the move, Duffy. And he's got it on the track. How about celebrating your birthday with Fred Bird at a Cardinals game? Here's your chance. It's the Fred Bird Birthday Bash, sponsored by Edie's Ice Cream. Call the Cardinals to schedule a birthday party, or head to a Schnucks Service Center and register for a private birthday party at your house with Fred Bird and Andy Bennis, courtesy of Edie's. Cardinals this time last year were 83 and 43. Chance at victory number 81 tonight. They're 80 and 47 in game number 128.
That was a 105 win season for Tony, and come back out the next year and be 3 off that near record-setting pace. Pretty good.
Yep.
And with all the injuries we had, the one thing that stayed intact is the pitching.
It's been better this year than last.
Right. Particularly the starters.
Right down the middle. Morris is called out on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Dave Williams. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack invites you to come in and experience ciabatta. It's all about the bread. By your local Chrysler Jeep dealers. And by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. Another gorgeous night, PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Abraham Nunez has come into the ball game. He'll take over at third base and replace Scott Seabold.
I hate to say it, but I think Nunez, obviously Scott Rowland would have had both those balls.
Yep.
One to the left and right.
So Nunez in at third base. He's become a bench player that needs a day off now.
Yeah. I mean, that's truly what the case was.
It's pulled foul, and now there's 2 strikes on Darrell Ward. Ward here, and then Makoviak and Dumin. We're in the 6th. St. Louis on top, 3-1. Good curveball there. Nunez has got it right in the game, and he's tested. Nunez
being about 4 inches shorter than And Seabowl, you wondered if that would have backfired there, but he got up, hauled it in.
That slapped the other way and a base hit for Rob Makoviak. His first hit of the night for the Pirates. They've now equaled the Cardinals 7 hits apiece. I'm sure you have seen that picture of Stan the Man shaking hands with.
Yes, I have. I have it on my wall.
Me too. And JFK.
JFK. It's at the All-Star game. I want to say 63, I think it was.
Powerful picture, though.
Yeah.
With all the different things that are going around outside of the handshake.
A couple of people, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 now, someone sent that picture to Stan the Man Inc. And Stan enjoyed it so much that they wrote back to the gentleman and said, you know, can we get the negative, and we want to start producing it and selling it to the public.
Just misses outside.
In case you want interested, Stan the Man Inc. 314-965-3000.
How'd they come up with that 3,000?
Well, because he's a member of the 3,000 hit club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Had to put that together, Al.
Yeah.
That's off the end of the bat. Nunez charging. Throws on the run low. Pujols stays on the bag, and a good pick. Good play there by Abraham Nunez for the second out.
Very good play, and almost wondered if Makoviak was going to try and go from second on over to third. But there you are, do or die play, and a good pick at the other end by Pujols. Pujols was ready with his good throwing arm. He always loves those challenges. If a runner going from first to second sees that tough play like that and just tries to circle the bases. Eckstein was on the move and would have been there to receive a throw at third.
Wigginton looks at a strike. Wigginton tonight, pair of singles, 2 for 2. Good block by Molina. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the picture I think we've got. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
You can see the at-bat at the top there, number 24. Willie Mays, Earl Warren of the Warren Commission. The symbolism of the 2 bat boys, African American and a white youngster, sitting together.
How about the irony of Earl Warren, Chief Justice in that picture, who, you know, was the Earl Warren Commission, or the Warren Commission, to investigate whether there was a conspiracy in the death of JFK.
Right. So RBI for Ty Wigginton. He's 3 for 3.
He's been producing those ever since he was recalled earlier this week from AAA. And he gets another.
So you can find that picture over to Stan the Man Inc. There's some great people over there. There's Jack Wilson. He lines it into center. Edmonds coming on. Slides, and he's got it. Edmonds comes up with another gem out there. And that ends the inning. Takes a hit away from Jack Wilson. And it's 3-2 Cardinals. Edmonds to end the 6th inning. It's 3-2 Cardinals. Here it is in right center, Al.
Never get tired of watching Jimmy in his highlight reel.
He got a great jump on that, too. Eckstein showing bunt. Takes low. And Williams has got to be getting close to 100 pitches tonight.
And it looks like they have activity in their bullpen. They need a shot in the arm from a starter.
Last 2 nights they've had to go into their bullpen early. Susan Smith is tonight's merchandise winner in the Hyundai Long Drive inning sweepstakes. if the Cardinals hit a home run this inning. Susan qualifies for the Hyundai Tucson drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer.
And it's a little worse than that. In their last 3 games, the Pirates bullpen has had to log 19 1/3 innings in 3 games. The starters during that time have pitched only 7 2/3 innings. So they asked Dave Williams, 1, to go deep into this ball game. He is pitching in the 7th and save that bullpen. We got Brian Meadows up.
It's the second walk handed out by Williams, the first intentional to Sho Taguchi. That would load him up for John Rodriguez back in the 5th, and he delivered with a base hit. Cardinals a lead of 3-2, trying to take 3 of 4.
Like David might have been going on that pitch. His first step before he threw over was when he jockeying back and forth, showing that he wants to run. Can't read the move yet. And the Cardinals steal off the pitcher. If you run here, it might.
Edmonds out to center, well hit. Duffy on the move, and it's over his head and off the wall. Eckstein is going to be waved in by Jose Oquendo. Relay to the plate is not in time, and it's 4-2 Cardinals.
There's going to be an argument there, but it was the correct call.
Looked like he got under the tag.
The first base umpire, Ed Hickok, was there with the umpire rotation. He comes down and makes the call. He didn't really seal off the plate, and he got the foot ahead of it. Couldn't come up with it, but they execute the relay throw perfectly. Eckstein, you see there, making sure it got by. And then Oquendo, with Albert coming up, it was really kind of surprising that they sent him a nobody out. And there you see the lead foot gets right through and touches the base. This is a better angle on it. Looking for the throw, and it's already across the plate before he can put the tag on. And that's it.
So it's a double and an RBI for Edmonds. Then he advances to third. And it's nobody out. 4-2 Cardinals in their half of the 7th. That's going to be it for Williams. So double and the second RBI tonight by Edmonds. He's also homered. That was back in the first when the Cardinals went back-to-back. It's a double switch for Lloyd McClendon. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Edmonds has made it a 4-2 St. Louis lead. Cardinals. Jose Oquendo has been aggressive in this ball game. Aggressive here with David Eckstein.
And watch it go right through the legs and gets that lead leg on the plate ahead of the tag. Reaching for the ball, the leg already across, and now he applies the tag, but he left that opening and David went right through it. Brian Meadows will come in. See his 51st appearance. He pitched a season-high 3 innings of scoreless relief Monday night against St. Louis. And McLeod goes into the game, and he's playing right field. They're going to intentionally pass Albert Pujols. Why don't you just let the starter, leave the starter in to do that? Why are you asking a relief pitcher the first thing to do is come in and do something negative?
So intentional pass of Pujols, and Makoviak moves from right to third. So in the lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates, McLeod is now in the 9th spot in the lineup, and Meadows goes. Cardinals with 2 runs scored. He's 3 for 3, is on base for the 4th time, and it sets up a possible double play here with Molina. Molina has doubled tonight. Was thrown out at the plate back in the 5th trying to score. He has flied to left and flied to right. Cardinals a lead of 4-2 here in the 7th.
Nobody out. Meadows was outstanding, as I said, Monday night.
The first pitch is a base hit by Molina out to right to make it 5-2 Cardinals on a breaking ball. It's at the opposite way, and Yadier Molina, his 2nd hit. He's 2 for 4, and he went down and got it for his 36th RBI.
That piece of hitting is he really recognized the breaking ball. It's down and away. Look, goes down there with a swing, you know, going to the opposite field. At the very least, that was going to get Edmonds home. A bonus, he gets him home with an RBI, and he's on base for Taguchi with Pujols ahead of him. Still nobody out in the frame.
Close the book on Dave Williams. 6 innings as he pitches into the 7th. It's 1st and 2nd now for Taguchi. And Williams allowed 8 hits and 5 runs. He walked 2, struck out 5, and allowed 2 home runs.
Sometimes a manager may not have his decision made when he brings in that reliever, but in this case with Albert Pujols, you could have left the starter out there to walk Pujols and then bring in your reliever. You know, reliever's out there trying to think of everything positive. He takes his warm-up pitches, and then the first thing you ask him to do is to walk somebody. Why?
Taguchi tonight. Potentially passed. He struck out. Looks at a breaking ball, low and away. He's also grounded out to 3rd. Cardinals a 3-run lead, trying to take 3 of 4 here in Pittsburgh to start this 4-city road trip, and trying to make history tonight for Tony La Russa.
Bothered by Pujols out there, and the shortstop trying to jockey in position behind him.
Finally set. Runners are going. Hit and run was on. That's one. On the first goes the double play. Sanchez with the double play out there at 2nd. Pujols to 3rd. Now there's 2 outs.
Well, with the runners going, trying to protect Molina a little bit. Throws the bat, but see, Molina's too close. He couldn't elude the second baseman. And a very nice play by Freddie Sanchez. As he stays with it, gets the tag on the Molina, completes the double play, throwing to 1st. Albert does go over to 3rd, but it was a promising inning. Could be just 2 runs.
John Rodriguez back to 300. 4 homers, 16 RBIs. First pitch is a ball outside. They intentionally passed to Taguchi to get to Rodriguez in the 5th, and he delivered with a base hit up the middle.
Might try to see the fastball by him. Many break pitches, change-ups.
Another change. Curveball on the first pitch, that time an 82-mile-an-hour changeup.
If you see enough of them, eventually you start learning how to hit them.
Two and 1. Pujols a runner at 3rd. 5-2 Cardinals. They've added 2 runs here in this 7th. The 2-1 pitch. Rodriguez on a breaking ball, chops it towards 2nd. Sanchez makes the play. Pujols stranded. Cardinals have left 7 on, but they add 2 more in this inning. Cards on top, 5-2. Tomorrow, Jeff Supine leads the Cardinals against Esteban Loaiza and the Washington Nationals. They're fighting for their lives in the wild card race and also in the East. Coverage begins at 5:30 with Cardinals Tonight here on FSN Midwest. Bullpen is up and throwing, but that's going to help out Matt Morris. 1 pitch and 1 out. So Taguchi puts it away. That was McCluth. And he lines out to start the bottom of the 7th. Cardinals lead it by the score of 5-2. Matt Morris, with a victory tonight, if the Cardinals can hold on, would improve to 14-5. He's thrown 91 pitches tonight. Not a bad ratio at all. He's under 30 balls in this game, just 28
And if you can get through this 7th inning, boy, it just makes things so easy for the bullpen to account for just 6 outs.
Duffy trying to bunt his way on. Nunez comes up with it. Abraham Nunez has had 3 very good plays after starting in the Cardinals dugout at the beginning of this game.
Well, he was energized, and there's a nice article in the paper here and kind of, saying all about Nunez and everything like this, what he wasn't for the Pirates and what he is for the Cardinals. But getting a chance to play, and he just basically said, I have no pressure. Everybody's just letting me play. And you're seeing the kind of player he is. But look at Matt Morris will get down, and he appreciates that effort.
Popped up right side. That'll find the seats. Rodriguez gives it a chase out of play.
This has a chance to be one of Matt's easier innings. Flores is warming up, and I believe the other is Reyes. Yes. Flores, how about the job he did? Came in, struck out 3 guys, 1 inning.
Struck out the side.
And it was the heart of the order, wasn't it?
Yep. It was in the game that Marquis started. Flores was the first man in from the bullpen. He struck out Bay, Ward, and got McCobiac to strike out.
Matt's dealing right now himself.
Pitch in the dirt. 2-2.
He's got that confident look about him where he's getting the ball, looking in, throwing. Curveball.
And a base hit. Sanchez reached for it and picks up a hit. 2 hits for Sanchez. Cardinal fans can get in-game alerts, scores, breaking news, and more on your mobile phone for $3.99 a month. Text the word cards to 65246 or MLBGO, and charges will appear on your mobile phone bill. So with 2 outs, the batter's going to be Jason Bay, and 3 times Morris has gotten him to fly to center. The last time, it's a good play by Edmonds in right center on the track with the bases loaded. Curveball misses in. Morris has allowed 9 hits tonight. Cardinals have 9 hits, but they lead it 5-2. Cincinnati a winner today over Washington by the score of 5-3. Florida beat Milwaukee 3-1. That pitch a little low. White Sox over Minnesota. Key game there, 2-1. Yankees at the stadium beat Toronto 6-2. Seattle over Texas 8-2. Oakland blasted Detroit 11-1. Hit sharply to Eckstein. Force play at second base, and we move to the 8th. 5-2 Cards.
Where Cardinals fans come first.
5-2 St. Louis, and a common theme has been starting pitching for the Cardinals in this series. Mark Mulder 8 innings in his victory. In the loss by Marquis, only 3 innings pitched, but Carpenter 8 innings his victory, and Matt Morris 7 innings thus far tonight, Al.
And so let's hope things stay the same and Matt put up another win for Matt. It'd be 14-5. Cardinals would win 3 out of 4 in this series. Still 6 more big outs to get to Pirates. And Meadows his second inning of work.
Curveball and a strike to Nunez. Came into the ball game in the 6th inning for Scott Seabold. Seabold went 0 for 3. Pretty efficient inning there by Matt Morris as Nunez grounds it up the middle for a base hit. 1 for 1 tonight. We'll see who pops out on deck, if it's going to be Morris or a pinch hitter.
Let's watch this and see if Meadows wants anything to do with fielding his position. I'm sure he thought that was more towards Jack Wilson as shortstop, but like it wasn't hit that hard. He could have knocked it down himself.
Your natural reaction would, you think that he'd be going for
field it. Yeah.
Now it's Hector Luna. Luna tonight reached on an air, singled back in the fourth, and fly to center.
Still nobody on the on-deck circle, and now Luna trying to get some information from Oquendo, and nobody's paid attention to the on-deck circle. Nobody warming up in the Cardinals pen, but you had two guys up last inning.
And the bunt executed perfectly by Luna, and he is safe. He never applied the tag, so runners at first and second. Not much of an argument. None right now by Meadows. His time is called.
And give an easy hit to Luna as Meadows fields it and tries to apply the tag. They say he didn't get him.
And Larry Walker will be the pinch hitter for Matt Morris. Walker at 275, 11 home runs, 41 RBIs. And Larry last night had a couple of hits and an RBI.
In this series, he's 5 for 11.
Seven innings, 2 runs allowed for Matt Morris. Both earned, 9 hits. Threw 102 pitches, did not walk a man. He struck out 2.
And one of the best in the league is not issuing walks, and another good performance. Gave up 9 hits, but only 2 runs because of no walks. Didn't complicate it. Speed on the bases, and Meadows falling behind 2-0 to Walker.
Working very slowly now from the stretch. Here comes a 2-0 pitch to Leary. Outside, 3-0 with David Eckstein waiting on deck.
Meadows looks like a guy that pitched 3 innings.
See, the defense is deep for Walker straight away. Got 3 balls, no strikes. You know Larry's got the green light. Green one.
Guys just aren't accustomed to stretching out and then bouncing back. Even relievers, you know, he pitched 3 innings on Monday, but you had Tuesday and Wednesday. We were talking about it earlier with pitch counts, but you just don't have as many arms that if you wear one out, you know, you could always just pull one back up, take one from the minor leagues. But now managers really have to be careful, because apparently there's just so few arms that are in the systems.
Got a 3-2 on Walker. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. The Cardinals half of the 8th. And Walker hits it out to shallow left field. Coming on, it's Bay, and he makes the catch. The last second he called off the shortstop Wilson and made the play coming in. Much easier play should be for him.
Especially there, you see now Jack got the word and vacated the area. An easy little flip back to the second.
And it brings in David Eckstein. He's been hit by a pitch. He's walked and scored back in the 7th of the RBI double by Edmonds. He's grounded out to short. He's popped out to first. First and second, now 1 out. This is the kind of way the Cardinals wanted to start this road trip, because it only gets tougher after this 4-game set with the Pirates. Washington, Florida, then Houston.
You and I talked about it, you know, just the way the Cardinals are, that you're almost, not that it's your goal, but you'd almost be content if you finish 500. So it's imperative to get off this start and this kind of start before you start playing the contending teams.
Eckstein grounds it to short. And the Cardinals have hit into their third double play tonight. It's up to the bullpen now. St. Louis on top by 3 runs. The Bud Sports flag is flying high here at PNC Park. Cardinal baseball, production of Bud Sports, and an exclusive presentation of FSN Midwest. Randy Flores will take over. This will be his 40th appearance on the year. He struck out the side earlier in this series. Opponents hitting just .240 against him. He's got Darryl Ward here. And you'll see Makoviak and Dumit. Cardinals lead it 5-2. And Randy's been awfully tough on those lefties.
Sure has. They've held the left-handed batters to a 143 average and 1 home run. That was by Jenkins in Milwaukee on July 21st. Darryl Ward has gone a long time since he's hit a home run.
You look at this lineup and you wonder how in the heck are the Cardinals doing this. Lineup that started tonight with Molina batting cleanup, followed by Taguchi, 5th spot in the order. Then John Rodriguez wasn't even in the organization at the beginning of the season. Scott Seabold, career minor leaguer. And Edmonds is on the move in center. He makes a basket catch. He's made a diving catch tonight. He's also made some good plays out in right center.
That's 194 at bats for Ward since his last home run.
He's got 11 on the year. So Flores gets his first lefty. Finishing that lineup, Al, it also included tonight Hector Luna. And yet this team is finding a way to win.
And boy, when you do that, it just builds chemistry, camaraderie. Just expect to win. You show up and you say, okay, when the lights come on, we'll be ready. And when they turn them off, we'll have another win in the column.
Tap foul, 1 ball, 1 strike on Makoviak.
Everybody feels like they're a contributor to a winning scene. That's just a great feeling.
Makoviak has moved from right to third base. He can also play second. Very versatile guy. 1-1 pitch. Up the middle, hanging breaking ball up in his eyes, and he fouls it into center. And it's a 1-out hit here in the bottom of the 8th. Makoviak a 2-hit night. And it's the switch hitting Dumit. On the right side he's 244, left side 248.
Could be the last batter for Flores.
Julian Tavares getting loose for the Cardinals. Could be his last batter, in particular if the tying run would come to the plate. Tavares, a guy that does not allow many home runs. Randy from the stretch, 1-0 pitch. Hit out to right, pretty well hit. And it is off the top of the wall. Gets away from Rodriguez. They're going to hold up the runner at third, and they may have run themselves in an out if they hit the cutoff. Rodriguez did not hit the cutoff. Over Pujols went to the plate, and Dumit had just about run himself into an out. Well, Rodriguez was way too close to the wall here. It's a tough spot because you don't know if it's going to hit the fencing or if it's going to hit that concrete.
See, it hits the concrete at the top of the wall, and so that's why it caroms away from it. It could hit right there where it's like a fencing, and it would fall straight down. So you can understand it. There you see Makoviak is coming around, and there's Dumit. He falls down, but he's able to get back. And they will make the pitching change, bring in Tavares. Dave will come out here so he can give a scouting report on Eldred, the pinch hitter.
Damn Sports Show Period, the greatest nightly sports show on television, with guest host Mike Goldberg and co-host John Sally, Rob Dibble, and Rodney Peete. The best damn sports show period coming up tonight. Mike Piazza, part of the program. Todd Zeal in studio. Todd Zeal is now a movie producer out in California, as Julian Tavares will take over. This will be his 58th appearance against his former team now. He's had some pretty good numbers on the season. He's 2-2. And opponents are hitting .265 against him. Cardinals a lead of 5-2, 11 hits on both sides. Runners at second and third. The tying run will be at the plate.
Eldred, big recall they've had, as Brad is hitless in his last 12 at bats. Started the season at AA, moved up to AAA, and now the big leagues. But he's big and strong, can walk into one. 26 holds for Julian Tavares. That's second best in the National League. He's allowed just 6 of 30 inherited runners to score. 7th best in the National League. You know, he allowed just 2 home runs in 141 games spanning the 2003 and 4 seasons, and he's allowed 4 home runs this year.
Eldred at .261, 6 home runs. Flores got the first man, Darrell Ward, to fly to center. Then it was a single by Makoviak, who met the double off the wall and right. First pitch by Julian is up and in. So he is the pinch hitter for Meadows. See, Rodriguez has shifted a little bit towards center and playing very deep to the opposite way. Meadows at second and third, the 1-0. He's trying to tie it up, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he's big and strong, and that's part of his game. Set up inside, ball out over the plate, but thrown by him. You can walk into one, so you don't want to hang a pitch to him, and you don't want to throw one at the same plane where he's swinging. Other than that, he'll miss it. He'll miss it.
Here's a 1-1 pitch from Julian. Outside.
Of his 6 home runs have been hit off of right-handers. Go up and in and tie him up and make sure you get there. Long way.
Ball got away, but the runners stay. 3-1 the count, with a 5-2 lead in favor of the Cardinals here in the 8th.
Sometimes you get a guy that's like Eldred, that's got a lot of power, but with that power comes inexperience and a lot of holes. The guy on deck is the guy you should be more concerned about than Eldred. You can strike this guy out.
Foul tip. Full count. On deck, Jack Wilson. A big guy at the plate physically, and they feel there's some big holes though in his swing.
Yeah, you can. You know, he's a young hitter. Started in AA this year. Went to AAA. Called up this month. He does have 6 home runs, so he's going to hit a mistake.
Doesn't get cheated either.
No.
Pirates have been trying to find a power bat in the middle of their lineup, some way to protect Bay, and they have not had that the last couple of years.
And they got to do it on the low side too. The payroll side.
It's tough to do.
If he throws a slider down the way, give him an El Dorado. You haven't seen that look. And if you walk him, make sure you get together and make sure they're on the same page with a 3-2 pitch. I think if he throws that sidearm slider, because he hasn't seen it from him, or gives that little El Tiante. Get the hitter to try and just go fishing.
Count of 3 balls, 2 strikes.
A lot of times when you see a pitch you haven't seen yet, he's seen quite a few, so but you give him that different delivery, he'll make an offer at it.
Runners at second and third. The full count delivery from Julian Tavares. He got him.
Good pitch. Gave him the fastball, but he had good life on it and a good location. Down and away, a little sinking action to it, swing over the top.
So now there's 2 outs, and the batter is Jack Wilson. Wilson is lined out to center, fly to left and fly to right, 0 for 3. There's a ground ball up the middle. Eckstein to his left, guns wide at first base. Pujols off the bag. And McCobiac makes it a 5-3 St. Louis lead on the RBI by Wilson, his 39th.
Base hit and RBI. Got ground ball, but it's pretty much up the middle. David does a nice job to get there. Tries to throw on the run. It sails a little bit. Albert tries to stay on the base, but he comes off, so a run scores. And a bang play right there.
Dave Duncan back out. Long walk from the dugout to Julian Tavares.
Izzy's coming in.
Going to ask him to go more than just the 9th inning here to get a save. So pitching change, and we'll tell you about it when Isringhausen coming in. 5-3 Cardinals.
Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light, and by Pontiac. Brought to you by the first ever Pontiac G6. Go to www.pontiac.com. Well, the Cardinals find themselves in a little bit of a jam. They lead by 2 with runners on first and third. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Already 1 run in, and they go to their closer, Jason Isringhausen. Matt Morris went 7, 2 runs allowed, and then Flores, Tavares, and now Izzy appearing for the 49th time. He has 33 saves, second most in the National League. Great ERA, 1.84, and asked for the 3rd time. He got his 32nd save Saturday, second time this year when he threw more than 1 inning. So he'll be asked for a 3rd time to pick up 4 big outs. Luth was the batter, and first pitch fastball. Strike 1. Came into the game. He's 0 for 1. He flew out in the 7th. Came into the game to play right field. So they took the starter out as part of a double switch.
And here comes an 0-1 pitch from Isringhausen. Foul ball off his foot. Izzy has a couple of saves against the Pirates this year, as Jose Mesa is getting loose in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. He saved Mulder's win the other night.
Cardinals have won 16 of the last 19 against the Pirates, and they own the most wins of any visiting player here in this ballpark. So 0-2. See if he doesn't step off or hold something. Let's see if they pitch that runner leaving too soon at first base. Nina looking in the dugout. Cutter outside trying to backdoor.
He got him. Izzy carved him up. Pirates strand 2. We head to the 9th. They're in Pittsburgh. Edmonds, Pujols, Molina due up. 5-3 St. Louis. Game recap is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. And here's a look at what the Cardinals did early on. Edmonds and Pujols would go back-to-back. And Jim Edmonds with a good catch in center field. Darrell Ward also has picked up a couple of hits, but robbed of a hit there by Nunez. A play at the plate with David Eckstein sliding it safely. A little flavor of this game brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. Huge game for that man, Tony La Russa. Chance to move into sole possession of third place on baseball's all-time wins list. Amazing.
28 years at the helm of White Sox, Oakland, and now the Cardinals. Amazing 10th year already. Here's numbers for Gonzalez. Very good ERA. He's a tough left-hander, especially against left-handers. Edmonds looked like he didn't want any part of him last night. And the bat's still on his shoulder here tonight on a breaking ball.
We're in the ninth. Edmonds, Pujols, and Molina. Jimmy with 2 RBIs. Now with 72 on the year. He's been on base 3 times. Make it 4. Leadoff hit.
3 hits and hit by a pitch. In between, he grounded out into his first double play of the year.
Albert Pujols has been on base 4 times. 2 runs scored. Intentional walk his last time up in the 7th. Pujols has 98 RBIs, so a chance at the century mark here with one swing of the bat.
Why not? Because he's already in the game, so he qualifies for the save. So why not just put a little exclamation part on this victory?
Pitch. 0-2. Gonzalez wanted a new baseball. And the count is 0-2 on Albert Pujols. His 35th home run, 98 RBIs. And the average is above 330. It's now jumped to 338 with 3 hits tonight. Molina waiting on deck, and here comes the 0-2. Up and away to Albert.
Gonzalez missed about 7 weeks from facing these big league hitters for 7 weeks with a sprained MCL ligament in his left knee. Been back for about 10 days.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pujols pops it back and foul.
See, the outfielders are very, very deep where they really don't want anything over their heads. So it's all no doubles defense. They'll give up a base hit in front of them, but they play deep so they can cut it off in the alleys and keep you to a single.
Pitch up and into Pujols. 94 miles an hour on that last pitch by Gonzalez. You can see why this guy was wanted at the trade deadline, and the Pirates said absolutely not.
Well, he just came back off the save list like August 15th, but I mean, he would be a fine for anybody.
Curveball, a swing and a miss.
Just bad enough that he got away with it. Up there, Albert saw it, went after it, came up empty. Molina, another couple hits, got that average up 260. It was like 136 in April. And it seemed like the official scorer on his first base hit felt sorry for him and gave him a gift. He's earned them all since then. He meant the first one of the year.
Two 2-0 the count on Molina. Starting the cleanup spot in this lineup tonight. 2 hits with an RBI.
Tony obviously will hold on and win this game. He'll frame this scorecard. Probably make replicas of it, but I think he'll get a special kick looking back after it and looking and seeing Molina in the 4th spot, looking to see some of the names, and maybe 20 years from now he's in a rocker and look back at this scorecard and say, how did I do it? He's got a team that plays hard.
He started out as a major league manager at such a young age. It's going to be tough for somebody to get close to Tony La Russa when it's all said and done. If he's number 2 all time, you've got to start managing games in your 30s.
This is his 28th year at the big league level. Didn't have a lot of time at the minor league level, but he impressed some people to give him the opportunity.
How many times do you see, or will you see, a guy get that opportunity now?
Well, if you remember now, as you look at Jim Leyland here, you know, he spent 11 years in the minor leagues as a manager before he ever got a shot up here. Roland Heeman, longtime executive with many different clubs, and Walt Jocketty. Roland Heeman's had influence on every one of those guys, including Tony La Russa, the first. Roland hired him, managed AA in the White Sox organization, and made sure Jerry Reinsdorf was aware that he was a very, very bright guy. Keep an eye on him. There just happened to be an opening. That's the other thing. There has to be an opening. And they hadn't hired anybody for AA, so he said, go ahead and hire him. It wasn't long before he was in AAA. And then they first sent him to the big leagues as a first base coach before, and kind of surveyed the club before he took over.
Taguchi up the middle. That's a base hit. Being waved in is Edmonds. He'll score easily, and the Cardinals back up to a 3-run lead. It's 6-3.
Gucci with his 41st RBI. His first hit of this game, but second time on base. Breaking ball and hit right up the middle. Edmonds easily glides home. His knee's been bothering him.
That's a 3rd run scored by Jim Edmonds tonight. And now it's John Rodriguez with runners at 1st and 2nd once again. Rodriguez 1 for 4 with an RBI.
Hung in there almost too long.
Yeah, it's waiting for it to break. It never broke.
This is the type of left-handers that Rodriguez is a little more accustomed to. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but you know he'll have a better fighting chance than the real soft tossing lefty. Hard thrower with a breaking ball. Get a fastball here, I think.
Blew it by him for strike 2.
Fastball up there is going to be tough for him to catch up to.
So much is probably going on between the years too, waiting for a curveball, changeup, and all of a sudden it's fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Another fastball.
Comes the 1-2 pitch from Gonzalez. Rodriguez hits it out to center, but right at Duffy. Hard hit ball for out number 2. And it's up to Nunez, who entered this ball game back in the 6th. He's done just a heck of a job defensively tonight.
In a very short period of time, he made about 3 sensational or very good defensive plays, and he's 1 for 1 at the plate.
Singled back in the 8th.
Almost have to hit a double to score Molina.
Molina has already been thrown out at the plate tonight.
Trail runner has to be very careful of him too, and kind of tippy-toe around and stop at one base until you make sure he gets past the other.
Cardinals trying to pick up their 30th win at PNC Park. And the switch hitter Nunez looks at a ball, and it's 2-1. Solomon Torres is getting loose.
Molina had more than halfway as he gets his secondary lead, so it's bouncing away, but now he's almost trapped. Remember your speed.
Gonzalez set with a 2-1 pitch. Blowing into Nunez. Tony La Russa with 2,194 wins. He's already passed Joe McCarthy this year and Bucky Harris. Moved ahead of Whitey Herzog for second place in the Cardinals all-time wins list. With 874, he trails only the Hall of Famer Red Shandies. Who would have thought that back in '96? Some rough years early on for Tony La Russa in the city of St. Louis. 3-2 pitch. Got him. Nunez called out on strikes. Cardinals add to their lead. Could see history when we come back.
Tony La Russa trying to get through this inning and go into third place, so it's rest on the shoulders of Isringhausen, who got the final out. Stranded 2 runners at first and third in the 8th inning. And Izzy trying to get his 34th save. John Mabry out in right field, so Rodriguez out there with the best defense he can possibly have. Everybody used in this game that's available except for Diaz.
Now, if you had to pinpoint one thing that makes Tony such a great manager all these years in the major leagues, having played and broadcast so many years in the majors, what do you think it is?
Well, I think what it is he's been in good situations where he's had good players, but he asks a commitment from his players. Not everyone can play for Tony, but the ones that do play for him really enjoy it. And he's got a group of guys that will go to bat with him and buy into his program.
On the first pitch, it's a flyout to Sotakuchi. Down by 3 runs, swinging away. Izzy says thank you. Let's check in with the Midwest Sports Report.
Coming in tonight.
Preparation. Tony and his staff, they work hours and hours, do a lot of things to try and give the team a good report and a good way to win, defeat opposition. And he asks that commitment from his players, but he and his coaching staff give him a commitment back about twice as much.
One on the count on Freddie Sanchez.
Made a lot of sacrifices in his personal life to pursue his dream as manager. especially now with his family, you know, in the Bay Area. But they understand what his mission is, and then in the off season, between that and ARF, he has no time for anything else.
That's out to right. Mabry will come on and make the catch. That's number 2. And Tony and the Cardinals 1 out away from victory number 81. Turn to our Bud Light play of the game. David Eckstein would score a run. This is back in the 7th, and an RBI base hit from Molina, sliding under the tag. Good camera work by a crew. Good work by a crew during this 4-game set. That's your Bud Light play of the game.
What's going on in that mind?
There's Jason Bay. Ground ball. Too short. Eckstein gobbles it up, and there it is. History for Tony La Russa. 3rd place all by himself. 2,195 Major League wins in the career of Tony La Russa. And they keep on coming. 6-3 the final. History for Tony La Russa. Congratulations to the Cardinals skipper. Cardinals and Nationals tomorrow.
Good evening. Welcome inside our FSN studios for the Cardinals post-game edition of the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. I'm Pat Paris.
And I'm Brent Stover. A recap of the game you just saw, but we start with other Cardinal news from last night. The Cardinals beat the Pirates 8-3, but the big story took place before the game. Cards pitching coach Dave Duncan asked Pirates reliever Rick White if he had thrown a purpose pitch at Hector Luna in the game the night before. Lloyd McClennan, the Pirates skipper, took issue with Duncan talking to one of his players. Then Pirates hitting coach Gerald Perry sucker punched Duncan. The man at the heart of the story was the former Cardinal, Rick White.
You know, this whole thing is, from what I consider, it's gotten blown way out of proportion. Duncan asked me a question today, and probably shouldn't have. If Tony had a question to ask, then Tony should just come up and ask me. I would have talked to him. And instead he went through Duncan, and Skip didn't like it too much, and whatever happened, happened.
In the 6 games since coming off the disabled list, Larry Mortgage.
Well, history tonight here for Tony La Russa, now 3rd all-time on baseball's win list, and down there we can see he's being interviewed by Wayne Hagan for KMOX. Then he'll come over and visit with Jim Hayes. But history here tonight, well-deserved for Tony La Russa, the future Hall of Famer.
Well, and isn't it also his team that puts him in position for this? You know, they are 34 games over 500 now. That's a high water mark for the season. But, you know, I bet his emotions. We saw this ground ball go to Eckstein, threw it out. He didn't really move. He's kind of stood there, and everyone kind of left him alone for a few minutes before his coaching staff all started congratulating him. But, you know, there's an awful lot going through it, and I'm sure he'll be very humble.
And we can see right now that Jim Hayes is standing by with the Cardinals skipper. Jim?
Well, you guys mentioned it. Tony La Russa takes over sole possession of 3rd place on the all-time win list for managers, moving ahead of your friend Sparky Anderson.
Well, it's Sparky, and to do it here with Chuck Tanner here, Roland Neiman, Jim Leland, you know, Walt's there. One of my first center fielders, Rusty Kuntz, at first base. And then it just, fate sometimes is incredible for Matt Morris to be the winning pitcher after making an appearance here in '97 and had so many great times together. It's just incredible it worked out this way.
You had said that Sparky was not only a friend but a mentor to you.
Not only to me, anybody that ever asked him. I mean, he's beloved by any young guy that ever wanted to do something like, whether you're coach or manage, he's beloved because of his willingness to share.
Tony, congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, let's send it back upstairs to you.
And let's follow up on this. You know, his players, and we didn't have a chance to show all of it, as Tony La Russa was walking back to the dugout after congratulating his team, but his players were giving him hugs, and they respect him immensely down there in that dugout.
Well, I know there's guys like Jim Edmonds has said that if Tony La Russa leaves, I leave. I mean, that's the guys that he has here have bought into his program, and this is genuine. When you see the emotion that Tony has for his players and his players for him, they have really bought into this concept of team play, that we're going to do this right, we're going to respect the history of this game, and we come out here every day to play hard for 9 innings, and they do.
So congratulations, history made tonight for Tony La Russa. We are off to Washington this evening. Game 1 of that 3-game set will be seen tomorrow at 5:30 on FSN, and of course it'll be Jeff Suppan going for the Cardinals. We send it back to the studio.